Hey, Fabulous! So, welcome back to Favorite Friday. For the last case for this week, we are going back. We are going to West Virginia. I'm not sure if I've actually covered a case in West Virginia. I'll other plans. I'll look at the map. But yeah, we're going to West Virginia for this one, specifically Parkersburg. This case, we're actually going a little back, like 1950s back, like I think 1953. I think I'll have to check that again. And so, I'm going to give a shout out to Lamont at Large for actually letting me find out about this case through him. How he found out, I don't even know. So shout out to him. I think he's like the first source. So I have to give him most of the information I got was from him. So got to give him credit for that. And so I'm gonna give a public down below. If I didn't change, if you knew anybody involved in this case, even though this case took place in 1953, let me know down below, I guess. And so with that being said, I'm going to rambling, give us what little is publicly known, and let's go get started. So of course we have to start with Susan Bailey because this story basically centers around her. So sources are calling her Susie or Susan. It's changing, but Susie could be a nickname for Susan. So, but most are calling her Susie. So we're calling her Susie for the sake of the story. So Susie Bailey was born in May of 1953 and was one child of 13 kids. Because back then having like that many kids was pretty much acceptable. And so her father, Charles Edward, was born on November 27th, 1928, and her mother, Ruby Jane, was born in February of 1993. As her sibling, it was the birth dates. The dates I'm about to give for her siblings, these are the days they were born. Okay. Nancy Lee, July 22nd, 1951. Marissa May, May 18th, 1958. Claudia Kay, June 1st, 1960. Mary Helen, June 11th, 1961. Timmy Edward, July 31st, 1962. Debbie Lou, September 26th, 1963. Frankie Steve, January 3rd, 1965. Del Ray, April 29th, 1966. Charles Teddy, August 8th, 1967. And Ricky Dwayne, December 26th, 1968. So you're probably already wondering, wait, that's 11 kids. I thought you said she was one of 13. She is. However, the other two, Judah Fury, I don't have a date of birth on her. She was already married and out of the house. So I guess she was the oldest of all these kids at the time that these murders happened, right? And then there was another child by the name of Glenn. He was born in January 1953, like January 17th, I think, of 1953. And he dies like February 26th. So he only lived to see like a month old. So it doesn't say where the family apparently moved from, but eventually they moved to Parkersburg, West Virginia, where the story takes place. Apparently, Susie, who was then 15, starts dating her cousin, John Baumgartner. And before you ask, yes, she did in fact know that was her cousin. She obviously knew it was wrong. He definitely knew it was wrong. Dad finds out. He threatens to file statutory rape charges because obviously 15, you can't leave the consent, and that's your cousin. So you gotta get this man off your underage daughter somehow. So then on June 8th, 1969, the fateful day, Susie would apparently get Rodger, who apparently was 13, and so this is one of her brothers. She gets him to basically set the house on fire. And so they then go apparently to their dad's car, get gasoline out of this man's car, so I guess the siphon gas, put it in cups, throw the gasoline all over the house, then they light a match, and it obviously sets the house ablaze. So then I guess Susie and Rodger apparently leave the scene, and apparently people from a nearby drive-in, like a drive-in movie theater, apparently saw the fire. They also called 911 out of concern. The fire would apparently be helped to be put out by the only survivor, which was the grandfather, which was named Obi, and that was Ruby, which is the mother of all these kids. That was the maternal grandfather. So her mom's dad, right? He's 63 at the time. Police are actually considering him to be a suspect because you seem to be a little bit calm, even though your daughter and pretty much most of your grandkids in this house burned up. So then for whatever reason, they proceed to ask him about his bank records because I guess they were trying to figure out like, oh, well, if somebody dies, do you got life insurance? If most people die, I could pursue a new life because you wouldn't be the first person to kill somebody, kill your own family at that for some life insurance. So they got to check his bank records for that reason. And they see that he lied about some funds, but it wouldn't specify exactly how much or I guess how little he had at the time. So the next day after this fire, so June 9th, 1969, the surviving family is gathered around talking about the police believe that Obi did it. Now, whether they believe Obi did it or not due to his age, it's not specified, but they're talking about how the police believe that Obi did it. So then Rodger basically speaks up and says, oh, I know Obi did not do it. And he proceeds to tell Carl's brother, he proceeds to tell Charles's brother, so I guess like his uncle, that, oh, me and Susie actually started the fire. So obviously he gets taken out of the police station. He gives a verbal and written confession. He'll find Susie, because now, where the hell is Susie in all this? Susie, of course, is with John because they set this fire so that Susie and John, who are cousins, by the way, can be with each other. So then both Susie and John are arrested. They both give verbal and written confessions. They are both charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder at first, but 10 more would eventually be added. And so because Susie was a minor, because like I said, she was underage, you would think she would just get a light sentence, but from what I saw, she actually didn't serve any jail time. And it was actually said that her and Rodger, now that both her parents are dead, and I guess the family wanted nothing to do with them, they apparently then go to the foster care system. There are sources saying that she's changed her name to Laura Jean Bone, I guess to like get away from the infamy of obviously you pretty much killing most of your immediate family at 15. There's obviously going to be some infamy behind your name, right? So, she changed her name so that she could pursue a new life. And there's other sources saying that her and John would eventually get married. I guess in a state where cousins are allowed to get married to each other. And the surviving daughter, Judith, the one that was already married and moved out the house, so that's probably the only reason why she was even still alive. She winds up dying in like November of 2007. And so, yeah, like I said, that's the case of the burning of the Bailey family, all because two people wanted to be together, even though they were little cousins. That being said, if you know any other crazy case like this where a bunch of people died and it's not really that well known, definitely know down below. And so, that being said, I cover favorite females times a week. This is Scott from Females, and I'll see you guys next one. Bye. And you get